Hi, folks. It's the old crone back. I wasn't going to do another one of these today because I thought I hadn't anything to say, but I've just been listening to Cliff High, and I do like the way he puts things over. But one of the things that he said sort of added up a few instances to me that's happened over the last few days. And I had a friend message me the other day. He'd been out walking, I think it was just yesterday actually. And he had been out and about the town, and he messaged me and he says, God, there's so many angry people out there today. He says, I don't understand it. Bearing in mind the weather was quite nice. It wasn't as if it was pouring rain or sleeting or whatever. Um, he says, there's so many angry people out there. He says, and I nearly got smacked by a Range Rover on the pedestrian crossing. He says, and then he gesticulated as if it was my fault. He says, I had to jump out of the way before I got hit by it. And he says that was the only one. He says, and everybody's really nippy and short. I mean, it so happens that this person has had the needle on a number of occasions. The health system has got them under their thumb, as it were. But it did occur to me that is this maybe the start? We're into February now, and we were warned that come sort of end of January, February, there'll be more wakening up and so on. And as folk do, they're going to get edgy. It's going to be on their mind. Um, and we need to take care of how we react. And that was what got me with Cliff High. One of the things that he said was he was talking about the words that we use and how under normal conversation we could get away with it and we could say what we liked, have a bit of a smile, it would wash over us and so on. But when you're under a heap of stress, then something that somebody says to you can really knock you over. You don't have the same ability to process just exactly what's being said, how it's being said, and whilst we're not going to mean anything by it, we're not going to mean to be malicious. If they react badly, then we're going to react badly. So the message for us here is that when they react badly, we don't. Not that we have to watch every word, because that in itself would bring an unnatural conversation, um, a stressful conversation, because we'd have to be. I mean, you probably know, and I certainly know some people who I converse with that I need to be really careful what I say to them, whether it be my beliefs or their beliefs or just the fact that can't be bothered with their reactions to some things. And when you do have these conversations with folk like that, God, it's tiring. I mean, you can only stand it for so long because of the stress levels, because you having to double think every word that you use. And I'm not, there's absolutely no way that I would suggest that you pussyfoot around people because it's too stressful on you. And the last thing we want to do is to cause extra stress for ourselves. We have to keep our frequency up there. What I'm saying is that we are now aware that it is possible for us to unwittingly use the wrong word, the wrong phrase, make it sound like we're blaming them when we're not, or whatever it happens to be. When they react badly, now that we know that they may well be under a huge amount of stress, when they react badly, we shouldn't. And it's only if we're forewarned and think about these things in advance that we can realise the discourse that people use, the actual words they use, can throw a whole load of meaning behind where they're actually coming from. That was one thing I learned in my psychology degree, if nothing else. Uh, well, there were one or two things actually, um, but yeah. So we don't take their reaction badly. Don't jump yourself. But I do feel that when we have these conversations, and I know this is a one-way conversation, but whole point of my wee vlogs, apparently, is what they're called, is to make folk think and prepare them for what might come along. So if I can think about it in advance, um, and realise that don't jump the gun. They're under a lot of stress. Let's just be kind and compassionate. And think of other words that come to you naturally that you would use if you weren't going to jump back down their throat again. So, yeah, think about it amongst yourselves. Talk amongst yourselves about what you might do, might say, what sort of circumstances this might arise in, and prepare yourself. Because that's the only way. By having these conversations and thinking it through, it's the only way that you are going to prepare yourself. So that was my message for today. Not worry about what you're saying, but think about other folks' reactions. Keep a smile on if you can. It makes a big difference. And a genuine smile. So that's me for this wee bit. And interestingly, they all take about 6 minutes. Anyway, before it goes on to 7 minutes, I'll say thanks very much for tuning in. I hope this has given you food for thought. And hopefully I'll think of something to say again in a few days. Bye-bye. Take care. Love yourselves.